looking at a Weibo that are yet to really hit their final form. You know, I'm gonna call a spade and say that, like, someone like the Shy is a bit of a flip right now, not having the best time. Ooh, hello everybody. Hangzhou finding himself there after hitting the wall, but not to be done anything more than just a little bit of damage. But the Shy has honestly been pretty woeful. I mean, to be totally honest, he's been not the greatest. His meta hasn't really suited him. The champions haven't been looking great. He has still been able to do some work. He has had moments of brilliance that we know he can do, but I need to see more from him. And I'm not gonna, you know, how many more excuses can you give the man until you start to say, look, you know, this isn't good enough. So need to see a bit more from this guy. Need to see him kind of go back to that 2018, even honestly up to 2020 form, where he was just the best top laner in the world, no exceptions.
Most definitely, and like you said, the meta hasn't been too friendly for these carry top laners like the Shy. I believe that he's also picked 4 K'Sante games out of the previous 6, so he is quite literally just on K'Sante duty. The Vision does spot out Meteor on this. Oh, hook lands on Chris.
Hook does land, but they're turning it back onto LPC. Hangzhou has to flash away. And everybody needs to be very careful right now. Very tentative down the spot side. Meteor is here as he did jump over the wall. But I don't think he's going to really make anything else happen. He does land a javelin, but yeah, unless you're landing a hook, it ain't going to lead to much more.
It really ain't. And back to my point where the Shy has been very big on the K'Sante. It does narrow Weibo's playstyle towards playing more bot heavy. A solo kill perhaps in this top side.
Oh, the Shy, this is what I want to see. Not going to get it just yet. Just take a tower shot for his troubles, but that's exactly what you want to be seeing happening. Karsa trying to see if he can contest Meteor, but
he stole it.
Yeah, Meteor with a smite means that nearly impossible to try and take that one away. Doesn't actually really mean much in the grand scheme of things, just more annoying than anything else. But you will have a Hex flash here on the Xiao, who does get a flash because he recognizes he was already going to be caught out. So really nicely done there by the LGD bot side. Is now the Shy. Oh! We thought he was going to solo kill, but now he's getting solo kill. Flash isn't enough. The dash, the kill.
He can't get the auto.
Oh my god, he just has enough to get him away. And Xiao will not pick up the solo bolo.
That's a tilter. That is definitely the most tilting solo kill for tonight. I mean, the flash even got burnt, but the Shy just escapes with the ghost and pulls exact amount of pixels before the Renekton could land his final auto onto K'Sante. I mean, the Shy is just getting away with broad daylight crime.
Yeah, the Shy is doing the Shy things, as we always like to see, but definitely a bit tentative up on that top side, and we'll wait to see if anything else kind of comes back from it. Because again, the Shy can get those moments of brilliance, just needs to make sure he doesn't leave himself exposed because of it. His kill lane down the bot side has done fairly well at burning some of these summoners. Crisp down to his Hex flash. His Meteor just kind of goes on his escapade of farming. But let's have a look at this one here, because again, it's so close, and you can see he almost has enough damage, but it's still a K'Sante kitty.
One auto difference where he gets the shield from his abilities, pops the ghost, but with those pulse pots running, I mean, it just wasn't enough damage. The wave is in a pretty bad spot for the Shy though, so he has to redo that once again.
Yeah, remember kids, pop your pots. That's the best way you can put it. Just got to make sure, even if you don't think you're going to be able to make it out, you'd be surprised how much regen you get extra on top of that. So doesn't lead to anything in the top side, both losing their TPs and their flashing ghosts, so no one's really coming out on top, you would imagine, but it is still the Shy coming out with a bit of a CS lead as we have a look down throughout the bot lane and stuff. Everyone's kind of on a bit of a reset in the bot half of the map. If Meteor shows here, I was gonna say that would almost be an instant dragon take for the side of Weibo, so I don't really feel like it's the correct one to go for, but we'll see. Maybe they want to try and keep putting the Shy down, but he's got his ultimate, so not really an easy target to get if he can get someone by that wall.
Most definitely what we're expecting out of Renekton and Nidalee. So hopefully they get to execute this off. But the wave state is looking a little bit tough at this moment. But the Shy going for the 1-for-1.
He's going for it. Xiao underneath the tower. Almost taken out right there. If he didn't have the dominance, he was a dead man. And now Meteor is shown. You can see that already the bot lane trying to be a bit more aggressive now with the side of Weibo, trying to make sure they can get something going for themselves. We might see a little bit of a knockback. He does get it. And it just stops the recalls right there. LGD looking for something, but there's nothing to be found.
I feel like the Shy is going to do it a second time. Come on. Oh, they go in for the kill, but Nidalee left.
Nidalee left. Straight up 1v1. Not a huge amount of mana left for the Shy. Xiao just kind of says, look, I'm still here. But that means that Karsa gets himself a free dragon, and this is what I was afraid for LGD. You don't really have that priority to make this one work, and that means that you end up kind of losing out on the grand scheme of the map and the state of which it's in.
You know what I find really cursed? The Vi's out CSing the Nidalee in the jungle.
Just about.
Which is exactly what you don't want. I mean, the Nidalee, you are trying to look for those kills in the top side specifically. I mean, you also have a lot of lockdown in bottom, but Weibo's bot lane has been playing extremely safe, so the Shy is the only angle they're trying to go for, but he's the Shy. He has one of the best laning phases for a solo laner in the LPL, so either execution has to be perfect or you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, it needs to be pixel perfect, and we have seen it a fair bit over this split that people have been able to make that work for themselves, as Weibo have had struggles towards that top side as the Shy is waiting to try and get himself back to that state that we know he can always get to, but hasn't been as of right now. We go back into live. It's not that much of a gold lead either. No one's really getting super far ahead. I will say the top lane's doing very well, but outside of that, everyone's kind of just equal disparities. Karsa has got his smite. Will need to use it. Actually use his Q very, very nicely there. And they might turn and burn here onto Meteor, who, yep, has to flash away. XQW pushing in towards that mid lane, making sure Xiaohu cannot make any more of an impact, as now Meteor feels like he's got more priority now with the bot and the mid laners coming out to help him out.
Xiaoxinhua does rotate, but that does mean Xiaohu is going to just really push this in. Can they look for a kill? And no CC from the side of LGD. A little bit ambitious, to say the least.
Yeah, it'll be tough. It'll be very, very tough. And XQW not really making the most out of that particular situation. Just trying to make sure Meteor got out after losing his flash. And everyone starts to back away once more. Level 6 is being hit pretty much across the board for everybody. 40 stacks there for Xiaohu on his Syndra, so he's getting up nicely there in terms of the damage. It's ramping up for him. Zhao moving in towards this mid lane just to cover the Rift Herald take that Meteor is going for, and everyone starts to back themselves away. So Kitty, where do you think this game is going to explode? Because right now it looks like Weibo, they're not letting this Rift Herald go.
In about 30 seconds, Oshin, the game is going to explode as they haven't engaged onto Xiaoxinhua.
They're going to go for him right there. He's forced to flash away. The chase now, not really much more than an observer, will you say. They do end up getting the Rift Herald, and they will trade it back for a kill. So really equaling out the advantage in terms of goal for the moment, but still LGD getting the objective they wanted.
I mean, Jinja just didn't really need to be there, but I think Crisp is looking for more in this mid lane.
He is. He wants the Tibbers. He's going to land it. They're going to be able to get the stat of the week as well. And Karsa picks himself up a kill. Nice roam here by Crisp on the Annie to make sure they secure that one. And the mid lane is 100% now going in Weibo's favor.
And this is why Annie has been picker banned for the last meta. I believe we're in 13.3, and that's why she is so extremely strong ever since she got her buffs onto her E. And also starting off with the stun. I mean, roaming towards these team fights, Chris is getting a lot done on the map. Meteor definitely getting a little bit of impact due to the results of how these skirmishes have went. And Xiaoshu on this Renekton not getting too much down. Also down a bit of CS as well. Definitely not what you want to see in a Renekton versus Asante matchup, which we saw in the first series.
Little by little, bit by bit, this very aggressive composition that LGD have built for themselves is being picked apart. Karsa moving towards this top side as they're going to go all out in the top lane. Xiaoshu not really got many places to go. As I sneeze, he dies.
He's dead. Maybe every time you sneeze, someone dies on the Rift or Sheen. I think we're cracking the case over here. But the two solo laners of LGD definitely struggling. Both 0-1 and 0 now. Karsa having that ultimate available. Xiaoxinhua needs to play pretty carefully as he is approaching the enemy jungle. I mean, you're a bit caught out of position, buddy.
I mean, they're looking for this one on the bot side, but they might get collapsed upon. The Shy has TP. This could be a 5v4. As you can see, yep, there comes the Vi. They haven't gotten the setup, but an immediate jump here onto LPC. He's going to be getting taken out completely from this fight. He needs one more kill, though, and he gets it too! Going down without a fight, never, says LGD. They've turned this one completely on its head. It looked like Weibo had caught them with their pants down, but Jin Zhao says, we're taking 4. You got the Draven, but was it worth?
Was it worth? Definitely not. 2 kills going to the hands of LPC. He also cashed in, getting a double as well. I mean, a 4-for-1 trade, I think anyone would take that. That was just a generally pretty messy teamfight coming out of Weibo where they felt a little bit scattered and Draven was just not dying until the very last second. We see Xiaohu getting put out of position here where Karsa goes in, but there's no follow-up as the Draven flashes away. But Xiaohu also does get caught in the middle of things where Lycus doesn't have enough damage to finish off the Draven until that last Q. And Xiao Qinghua was able to clean everyone up with this Jace. Jinta also landing a very good hook onto Light where it barely reaches, but it also secures the last kill.
Great stuff there from LGD, bring themselves back into this game and getting that Draven going. And all it takes is 1 stack. 1 stack is all it takes. Really well played for them to kind of make sure they are not falling too far behind in this game. So looked like Weibo were kind of just picking them apart slowly but surely, but it has come back now to bite them as they looked for a fight they just couldn't take. So we come back into live. You're building towards that Blade of the Ruined King here. Actually, excuse me, Mortal Shield Bow, I should say, not Blade of the Ruined King, for LPC. Might switch off to a Bloodthirst, but either way, he's getting lifesteal and he's getting survivability.
Draven builds have been getting a little bit wacky. I think there's like 10,000 variations of what you can go with the DC changes and of course IE, but Weibo did give LGD another chance to come back in the game. Now Draven extremely fed, so Weibo need to use some of that CC onto the Draven as he doesn't have 2 summoners up. No major objectives up, however, but Karsa is looking on this mid lane.
This is looking, but you can keep looking as I say that. SQW does think he maybe has something. Meteor is around though, and they're gonna look to flash in, get himself knocked up, CC down. There's the ultimate from Xiaohu. And Karsa maybe went a little bit too far forward. The Whirling Death will do significant damage to Xiaohu.
Good dodge.
As Meteor looks to try and get one more thing. All out in this top side. The Shy wants a full 1v1, and he wants it now. Won't even allow Xiaoshu to gain the health from his ultimate. Xiaoshu popped it. He didn't get the ultimate to help because it was too quick.
The Shy is never going to get this Renekton to play the game. I mean, already 0 and 2, although getting consistently ganked. He is Cassante and he is the Shy. Already a 40 CS lead as well. This man, one of the best laning phases we have in the LPL. And Weibo gets this tier 1 tower as well. So very good things in the pockets of Weibo again.
Very well set up here for Weibo to kind of eke this one out and get themselves back to winning ways. LGD again 3 and 6. They are teetering upon the precipice of being irrelevant, you would imagine, in this grand scheme of the LPL as they go for the 10 series. If they go 3 and 7, it would be rough to think if they could maybe make it. But yeah, look, this is just Xiaoshu thinking he has him, and then as soon as he gets him near the wall, it's just you're all out, you're all in.
But Xiaoshu used a lot of his spells on clearing the way, where the Shy saw this and saw this opportunity where he just ulted him over and got absolutely executed. No damage items, but 100% damage. I love Cassante!
See, unfortunately, I have to disregard that complaint because you're a Yuumi enjoyer, so... Okay.
I'm a Yuumi hater.
Are you? I thought you were excited for Yuumi to come back. Or was that sarcasm that I just did not pick up on?
I love Zero Yuumi.
My bad, I rescind it. But coming back into this one here, Cassante doing Cassante things. 2-0 now over Xiaoshu on this Renekton. Now LGD, they're running out of options. They need to utilize LPC on this Draven, who's going towards that Bloodthirster right now, but he needs to be the one in the fights. He needs to be the one kind of getting in here and making sure that they're getting those advantages, because he's kind of their gold lead right now.
I mean, the Shy is just consistently pressuring in this Renekton, where I don't think he ever wins in the 1v1 anymore. We didn't see too much out of Renekton Nidalee, so LGD definitely on a bit of a ticking time bomb here. LPC's a little bit caught out of position, though. He is alone in the mid lane.
He's alone in the mid lane, and you can see the poke coming out here from the Varus and the Syndra to make sure that if you go through the long way, or the lazy way, I should say, you are going to have to take a huge chunk of your health to do it. So, 55 seconds till the Dragon spawns. Rift Herald is up and available on the Rift. But nobody has committed to it just yet. Xiaoshu, oh my lord, he is having such a tough time right now. And he's going to go Dominus, but Meteor is not really interested. This is just literally to make sure he can survive. 4 members of LGD in this bot side, and honestly, the Shy might feel comfortable with this, if I'm being totally fair. Takes a shock blast that does nothing, dashes away from the dredge line. 1v4, he is absorbing everything right now. He will imagine go down, but can he take someone with him? He goes all out to go all in. Not quite able to kill off the Jace, but 4v1 and he gets that close. And what else do you lose now as LGD?
A good 30 seconds of buy time from the Shy on this K'Sante. Getting 4 people in this bottom lane means the Herald and the 2 towers in this mid lane getting a little bit low on HP, but I mean K'Sante in the hands of the Shy, Weibo is able to enable what they can do on the rest of the map, and LGD looking a little bit desperate.
Yeah, look, it's a tier 2 on the top side. LGD, they will get themselves a dragon, you would imagine here, because they have actually got the rotation in on that, because they did overload on that bot side, so not all doom and gloom, but it took so long. You can see the Shy, he almost gets a counter kill.
He dodges the Nautilus hook as well, and he was just saving that ultimate to the last second. Really didn't want to burn it, but he saw an angle onto Xiao Jinhua, nearly killed him. In fact, however, just didn't have enough damage as the burst from Jace came out, and he died as a result. But what does that mean? The other side of the map for LGD is wide open, as your top lane tier 2 died, and your mid lane tier 1 died, with the tier 2 being extremely low as well.
Look, it's not a million miles away for LGD. They are still within about 1,000 gold. They are still 2 items on their Draven, and they are expensive items as well. You go to the Lethality Varus, it is a much cheaper build. It's why we saw Lethality kind of have its place in the meta and in the teams. There's double pink ward just in case. Karsa takes a chunk off of the spear, and the spears will do damage as well. So LPC needs to be careful. Oh, he gets clapped. Oh my lord, I was going to say he gets clipped. Almost about to get clapped if he didn't cleanse, so... Needs to be so careful.
A little bit late though.
Yeah, Xiaoshu, know where he can go, know where he can hide, and he shall die. This is kind of becoming...
getting all these tier 2 towers. I mean, they're just falling right in front of LGD's face. Xiaoshu now 0-3 on this Renekton. We saw exactly how this matchup went in the OMG vs NIP series, and this time around the Shy with K'Sante, I mean, it's a little bit different because K'Sante is actually just solo people out here.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it go equal and in the last series with NIP and OMG, but I think with K'Sante in the hands of the Shy, this is the kind of things he can do. I will say, I wouldn't put Xiaoshu at the top of my board of top laners, but just having so much presence, and this is what I wanted to see more from Weibo throughout this split, working around those moments to just overload a side lane, quickly get a kill, because that's what, you know, vintage IG did for years in 2018 to 2020 with Rookie and the Shy. It was about the Rookie kind of facilitating the Shy's level of play and making sure that he was in a position to capitalize when the Shy was able to get those small little moments.
Most definitely. We see that happen once again for this game up against LGD, but I'm getting a little bit worried because your carries of LGD, I mean, Draven and the Jace get locked down so perfectly from this composition of Weibo, with the Annie and Bai, of course, being not on that side.
Meteor, he flashes, but I don't know if that's exactly how far he wants to go. There's going to be Chris jumping in over the side. They won't get Meteor, but they're going to double TP. Both top laners have now moved their 1v1 from bot lane to top lane. As everyone's still fighting kind of on their own setup. Now Xiaoshu gets the attention of the rest of Weibo, and he has to flash away. So again, more and more pressure building onto this LGD roster. There's no soul for the side of Weibo for a while, but again, LGD are just not able to deal with all the pressure coming in from all these sides.
This Draven just doesn't have enough money to get that LDR into his pockets. I mean, we saw how much damage one auto did to the Shy, pretty much like 1/1,000th of a health bar. But with LPC opting into the BT second for the amount of poke that Weibo has in this early game, that does mean the Shy is going to take a lot of skills to kill down for at least front to back.
Whew. It's getting closer and closer for Weibo just kind of to break the dam. It feels like it's just only a one team fight away from this going all to hell for LGD. They are still keeping themselves relatively in tow, but You're going to need to see a hell of a lot more spears and accelerated shock blast landing. We need to see these health bars being tickled down a little bit more than what they have been, because yes, the Draven Nautilus is great for when you get that team fight, but that's not how you need to start off these. Your Jace and your Nidalee needs to be arm's length, constantly pushing forward and constantly looking to try and just keep everyone away from your main carries.
Most definitely. Although the game is 7-6, I mean, Karsa might be looking for an angle here, playing with the vision that Weibo has already set up. But 7-6, but look at the map state. 6 towers to 2. Karsa charging it up.
Charging it up. Looking for it to Shy. Off on a flank. Scatter the weak lands in the Jin Zhao, and he loses about 1/5 of his HP. Everyone just kind of backs themselves away. You've now lost all vision control, you would imagine, for the side of the LGD around this Baron. The Dragon is spawning in 30 seconds. That's the easier objective here for Weibo. And everyone just dissipates. Don't want to have too much to deal with this, as LGD are happy just to ping-pong the waves for now.
Weibo is just trying to bait the enemy team into their hands as they have complete vision control. Although that one is going to show Xiaohu just sitting down the corner. This remote gets used right there. So Xiaohu is going to leave, but just no vision at all.
Oh, he leaves. Jin Zhao, though, didn't think he went very far, and he gets caught out. They're going to jump straight onto the Swirling Deck. Goes spared in. The Draven doing significant damage onto Karsa. Can he get a cash out? No, he cannot. But they do trade back Chris, so it's a 1-for-1 in terms of the trade. They can go for Dragon here, or sorry, excuse me, they can go for Baron.
Oh, Karsa's very low, so he's going to
the Shy.
Really, the Shy. He is very late to this. The Baron is half HP now.
It's half HP, but it's not dead yet. It's not dead yet. Chain of Corruption lands. They're going to go in. They're going to flip it. Long Light gets a kill. They haven't killed it off. Finally, they get it, but they can't get anybody out. It's only Meteor. It just took a couple more seconds. I think maybe Jin Zhao gets it as well, but at the end of it all, Weibo, they went for the fight. They didn't get the Baron, but they definitely got the kills. And even Meteor can't stay here to try and clear this wave topside. So what can you really do with this right now as LGD? I will say it takes it off the board, but it does feel like it's a drop in the ocean of what is a bad time for them.
It does deny the Baron at the very end, but just this nasty stun coming out of Xiaohu as he lands it onto 2 people in this Baron pit. I mean, absolute Giga Chad energy just from that EQ, and Nidalee does execute it with her Q, however. I don't know if it escapes, but it doesn't matter because this Baron, you can't utilize it as all your towers are down, so you can't ever overextend because WeiboGaming, they're out to get ya.
Good for LGD to get that off the board. They actually do get Jin Zhao with the Baron as well, so they do have 2 of them. Nice, to say the least. But again, you are just holding right now. It doesn't feel like LGD are making proactive plays or positively proactive plays in the sense they're winning from it, but oh, here we go. They're going to look for a TP on the Shy. He's going to try and jump straight in onto this back side. XQW does get a nice stop back and stops the Shy's flank from really meaning anything. Jin Zhao keeps himself alive just barely, but he's got nowhere to go. XQW falls, arrow through the heart, and Lights to blame. LPC not really giving Draven a good name, and that is just going to be Weibo taking 3 kills without a Renekton. They may just end the game here because they can just push up through this mid lane. They've got minions and they've got so much damage.
Yeah, I mean, the Banshee Nidalee isn't going to offer too much when it comes to clearing the way, praying that the Baron minions do something. But Renekton being 1-for-1 himself, it's going to be a little bit tough fighting off this Nexus.
They're going to try and defend it, but they're separated. They were not coordinated. The Renekton has fallen. Nexus turret number 1 goes down. The all-out comes out from the Shy as he wants to get one more solo kill. Meteor flashes away. There's going to be the shield and the heals coming out. The Shy looking so much better. They won't end the game, but they are starting to make it hurt for LGD.
Weibo definitely playing very slow. They've learned a lot after the 2-0 series up against LNG where they were demolished. Very patient, so exactly what you're looking for because you are in such a winning position. You never want to give the enemy any angle to come back into this game as they're just going to put all their focus in towards this bottom side now. I mean, the Shy is just unkillable even with the LDR in LPC's hands.
More and more pressure. LGD, they're not dead yet, but again, it just doesn't feel good. Feels like it's just one haymaker away, and this could be it. If XQW dies here, which he might, definitely does not go too far forward. Now everyone just kind of resets themselves.
Look, before LGD's Nexus died, I believe our Twitch stream has died once again. So please watch
has
the
it?
YouTube link.
Hello, YouTube!
Xiaoxu is just caught out again. He is trying to get as many minions, or at least deny the minions from pushing in this bottom lane. But Renekton at the 26-minute mark isn't going to offer too much, and he gets sniped by Light. 4v5 now.
Some great play-by-play coming out from you there, Kitty. And
I never want to do play-by-play. That I can't breathe when I do play-by-play. How do you breathe?
You just take one big breath and you just go. You gotta hope and pray it's enough. But yeah, without a Renekton, without any real kind of connection, not really a lot you can do about this one here. And yeah, it does feel like right now Weibo are just slowly but surely eking out all the advantages they need. 17-7, we'll see if they can get up to that 20 mark, but LGD doesn't really have any kind of hope in hell.
Oh, LPC.
Deleted is LPC. The rest of his team not exactly got a better fate. And that is going to be game number 1, going very comfortably over to Weibo.
20-7 is the scoreline that Weibo is going to finish on for this series, for this first game up against LGD. I mean, never really was LGD ever in that winning position, even though the Draven got 2 kills into its pockets after a successful bot lane full skirmish. Just look at the maps here. I mean, Weibo definitely having one of the best macros we've seen in the LPL. Although struggling a little bit in that early game, Weibo was able to take over for getting towers.
Yeah, it just felt like Weibo were just building and building and building. I will say there was some nice moments from LGD. They took away the Baron. It didn't go cleanly the exit plan, but there were, you know, the bot lane dive as well, where they were able to get a 4-for-1 trade. But outside of that, you're against Weibo. People like Xiaohu, the Shy, Karsa. It's just so difficult to see how you really come out on top of those situations.
Yeah, definitely wasn't a clean game from Weibo. I mean, even the Baron went into the hands of LGD, which is something that you don't want to do ideally, especially as a team that is extremely ahead. But LPC picking up those 2 kills on Draven did give them a hope of winning the game. But of course, I mean, the Shy on K'Sante just had so much pressure in that side lane. As a tank, he had to draw 4 people onto a side lane where Xiaohu also in these team fights was just landing very important stuns on the carries of LGD.
Yeah, it really, really was. And LGD, they got to figure out something in game number 2. We are still slightly behind, so I believe we are jumping straight into our next picks and bans very, very shortly, once our lovely director gives us the lower third go-ahead. But, I mean, Weibo, I mean, the Shy did the most damage. This is the Shy that I expect to see on a regular basis. This is the Shy that I want to see on a regular basis, coming out and really just kind of putting down the hurt here on the Xiaoxu.
Yeah, you definitely see what LGD's kind of team composition was aiming to do. They had the Nidalee and Jace double poke coming into these 5v5 situations. However, we saw that the Nidalee barely did more damage than the Vi, and that's a full tank Vi with Radiant Virtue and a bit of Black Cleaver. So, especially when you don't get those items ahead early as something like the Renekton and Nidalee, well, you're going to get really exposed from Weibo, and that's exactly what they did as Mr. The Shy gets MVP. What a surprise.
Yeah, what a surprise. Gets himself up nicely, set in a positive way. And you know what? The Shy coming in and being more positive in that regard is far scarier than anything you can really think about going into the postseason, because Weibo could be coming in as a team as a little bit more of a dark horse that you would definitely be really wanting to avoid in those playoff spaces. So that's when we start to see the dynamic of where you finish in the split, where you finish in terms of the playoffs, makes a huge difference as we come back in and see where these two teams can go from here. Because for Weibo, this is a week of redemption. This is a week to kind of, unfortunately, you know, I don't like saying it too often, but this is a punch down week. You're against LGD, you're against anyone's legend. This is a time to really just look fantastic in that particular setup as we look at bans and picks coming in now for game number 2. Weibo looking to try again. Like I said, if it's not a 4-0, it's definitely not going to be a good enough. And they get the K'Sante back. They actually get a last pick coming out from the very, very end of things. And it's still the Jace and the Nidalee. They go for the Kalista Draven in the bot side this time around. So no Nautilus, but still making it work for the side of LGD. Very similar composition, but this time around they're going for that Fiora, which we talked about, into the K'Sante in the NIP OMG Game 3.
Yep, Xiaoshu deciding to opt into the Fiora into Cassante matchup this time around, so hopefully it will go a lot better. But my eyes are onto this bottom lane. We have the Kalista support locked in for this game too. Responded with the Ashe. I mean, Ashe has always been a traditional counter to Kalista, just even in the ADC role, so I'm really surprised on who decided to opt into who. We didn't get to see who picked first, but they decided to opt into Draven Nidalee once again. I believe these champions are just comfort, or at least they want to get the ball rolling early, because you're not going to win by just going even in the early game and scaling up against a super roster like Weibo. But the entire team composition for both teams looking kind of similar in a lot of elements.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is just, again, as you mentioned, there's a perfect way to kind of describe it. Just comfort coming out here from the side of Weibo. They are very happy with the way things are. They're not, too discouraged with how they're kind of pushing for stuff, and they're just happy to continue with this style of gameplay, like getting himself onto the Varus, working with Xiaohu to make sure they're getting that poke down. And we jump into live, and it's going to be an interesting one to say the least. Again, I want to see Xiaoshu get some more resources coming out from Meteor. I feel like these Nidalee picks, or even these heavy skirmishing early game picks, are great. If you do just that, you gotta skirmish.
This time, this Nidalee doesn't have a lot of CC to work off. I mean, last game, at least you had the Nautilus and Renekton to set you up to land those spears, but we weren't seeing too many spears being landed from Meteor on this Nidalee, so this is really going to be a high demand of mechanical skill when it comes to these skirmishes. But looking at the ball lane again, triple Hobbs coming into game 2. I mean, this is just a flashback to the patch that we were stuck on forever, but there's a reason, and a very good reason, why Varus and Ashe is extremely broken. Just the lane parity compared to what LGD can fight for, already spaced out by Crisp.
I mean, one more volley, and this is a bit of a bad situation to heal the barrier. Ignite comes out, but it's a little bit too little too late. LPC, he's going to flash! Nicely done! And gets himself a little bit of a heal! Double kill for LGD! And a perfect start to this bot side.
You know what? This is exactly what we need. The Draven Kalista lane getting ahead, but without that ignite from the side of Weibo, they just lack that tiny bit of damage, where Chris, in exchange, he had the barrier, so Jinjiao not getting focused down by WeiboGaming just meant he was able to get that rend off twice and get the execution on both Varus and Ashe. But that does mean he's going to be backing with the gold of 2 kills. And we're going to see how it started off. Chris was looking like he was outspacing the enemy team with that Hail of Blades, but with them playing alongside the Vision, I believe they just dipped right out. Sooner or later, I'm not too sure, but the Ignite gets popped into Light, where the Rend was just so insanely good.
How many spears did he put into that man?
Yeah, Chris just wasn't able to get that Vision onto LPC, so he flashed really late.
Really nicely done there by the bot lane of LGD, and that's the kind of start you need. It's unfortunate that it goes to Jin Zhao, but look, you take any kind of advantages you can get. You lose all of their summoners in this process. Actually, still a splash onto Jin Zhao as they look to try and make this one a little bit harder. As we can see, Light moving over will just eat a fair bit of damage. Still has his flash available to him should he look to try and turn that one around, but good Meteor presence in this bot side means they are going to have a little bit better of a start here from LGD. And this is the thing for Weibo. You go with this kind of setup, and I love that LGD kind of went tit for tat with them. They wanted that fight. They pushed to have that fight at level 1 in bot lane, assuming with the